Hi everyone. Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope y'all can hear me. Not sure though, so I'm gonna use the headset. I haven't done a live in a long time. And I know y'all missed me. Hi Lisa. Can you hear me okay? Or do I need to wear these things? Am I hearable? I can't tell. Hi everyone. Hi Fan, can you hear me? Or is it a one of these things situation? Hi, can everyone hear me? Is this better? Can I be heard? Because, Facebook and me, we're not always friends. It's a little low. Koteu. Very low and far away. How about that? That's good? Oh my god. I don't have to use this. Wow, it's good stuff. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Erica. Hi, darling. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Mambo Sandy. Hello, everyone. Hi, Luis. As we all know, today is July 26th, and it's the day of Anaisa Pye. Plug them back in. Hi. Way better. Put the headphones. All right, let's see. No. Book. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me clear? I need to get like a second phone so I can hear myself. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Erica, Luis, Sandy, Julian, Angelica. All right. So today is July 26th, and today is the feast day of Anaisa Pye. Those of you, hi Ricardo, those of you who have been with me, who have worked with me, you should be a little familiar with Anaisa. Anaisa Pye is the spirit of joy, the spirit of happiness, the spirit of everything that gives pleasure. And she's a very beautiful spirit, but often a very misunderstood spirit. And I want to clarify some of those misunderstandings now. However, it is Anaisa's day, so I thought I'd share a drink with her and make it a Turn Up Tuesday while I'm telling you about her. So, Anaisa is the spirit of joy. But to reach joy, it's going to take you a lot. And like many people and many children of Anaisa, Anaisa is often really misunderstood. Okay? She's a spirit that's heavily and often misunderstood. One of the fictions, or one of the things that they say about Anaisa, which is not true, right, is that Anaisa es un cuero, which means that basically, like, she's a prostitute, she's promiscuous, she's always in the street. And it is true that she will have you out in the street, but it's not true that she's going to have you out in the street because she's promiscuous. The funny thing is that a lot of times children of Anaisa are thought to be very promiscuous or are interpreted to be very promiscuous when in reality the truth is, it's not the children of Anaisa that are so much promiscuous, but the people accusing us of being that way. Hi, Mambo J. Happy feast day. It's actually not usually the person who has Anaisa that's promiscuous. It's oftentimes the people accusing the other of being promiscuous. So that's one thing. What I've actually found with people that are children of Anaisa Pye is that they're actually not that promiscuous. They may be very flirtatious. They may be very open, but people misinterpret being an open individual, being an individual that doesn't have limitations, with being a slut, basically. And that's just not the way that things are, right? Very often people will say, hi, Vanessa. People will say that, if you deal with Anaisa, she will have you in the street. And what people interpret this to mean is that she's going to have you all over the place, from place to place, basically being a slut, etc. But that's not true. In reality, the reason that Anaisa will have you in the street is because Anaisa doesn't like to be controlled. She's a wild, free spirit. And very few people can deal with wild, free people. Basically because most people are caged themselves. They are not free. And so there's a bit of jealousy towards those people who are free. And there's a little bit of jealousy and sabotage that comes along with that, right? There's a bit of jealousy and sabotage that happens from those who aren't free to those who are free, right? And they try to break them down. They try to break down that free-spirited individual. So that's the thing, is that Anaisa's kids are very free-spirited and wild. And because of that, if you have Anaisa or you deal with Anaisa, and things, get a little cray-cray, you might end up out on the street, aka homeless. You may end up aka homeless, right? Why? Because people think that when they do you a favor, that they own you. Hi, Liz. People think that they do you a favor and suddenly they own you. But Anaisa, from day one, always told me, bitch, you're not property. You're not property. We don't do that no more. Hi, goddess mother. We don't do that no more. So it's not going to work for children of Anaisa. Children of Anaisa, they'll hear what you got to say, but we're still going to do what the hell we're going to do. And if what you say has a good sense to it, we may take your input. We may take that input and take it into consideration. However, you're not going to tell children of Anaisa what to do. That's just not going to work. And because of that, children of Anaisa are known to be kicked out of places from time to time. Buenas, Rafael, ¿cómo está? Gracias a la misericordia, hoy es Día de la Reina, Anaisa, la dura de las duras. Right? So, Anaisa is not going to be someone that's just going to sit there and take it. In fact, she's the type that says, okay, if you threaten her, that if you don't listen to follow my rules, I'm going to do X, she's going to call your bluff. She's going to do it. The moment you threw in some rules in there, you already worked against yourself. Because Anaisa is not going to let herself be tied up. And to be tied up means to be in a cage. To be told who to be and how to be. As a result, of this and as a result of this wild free nature that she has, what's going to happen? People going to talk smack. People going to lie on her. Just like they say that, she's a slut. Anaisa's not a slut. Okay? Instead, it sounds like there's people that want to be sluts and blame it on Anaisa. Right? So they're going to call her names. And this is a really important thing for you to understand because it was a teaching that Anaisa told me. And it was like, basically, if they'll call me a slut and they're my own people, what will they say about you? What will they say about you? Anaisa is anything but submissive. She is not a submissive lady, okay? And what people don't understand about that whole domination and submission thing is that in order for someone to truly submit, they have to be inspired to do so. It can't be done by force, right? It can't be done by force. But Anaisa is not a submissive lady. She's not about that life. She's about, this is how I am. Either you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, it don't matter because I didn't need you anyway. I was here before you and I'll be here after you. But one of the other important lessons is if they'll say the same people that will serve Anaisa, that will ask Anaisa for help, will turn around and be like, no shade, but Anaisa is a slut. Be careful of her because she's a slut. Well, Anaisa says if they'll say that about me, what will they say about you? Don't think yourself above the law, right? If they'll say that about me, what will they say about you? If they'll ask for my help, get my help, and then throw me under the bus, right? What will they do to you? Expect it. It's going to happen. It's a part of life, right? And it does make it hard. Someone asks, does it make it hard for Anaisa kids to have relationships? It does, because everyone's intimidated by free motherfuckers. Okay? Everyone's intimidated. Nobody wants anybody else to be free. And when you're really free, you are going to do unexpected things. You do the unexpected, which is also the reason why people will lie on Anaisa kids and other people will believe it. Because you don't know what to expect from them. Anything is possible. With everybody else who's a robot, we know what to expect. No need to guess. Everyone else is living the robotic life. And they live that life of a robot, so we pretty much know exactly what they're going to do. And Anaisa, like she says, most of the world is made up of a bunch of C-rate actors. And C is a really upgrade, as she says. Some of them aren't even worth the C, right? But you have to be careful that you're not falling for the C-grade actors. I mean, at least get you somebody on the B level. Preferably A. But I mean, hey, sometimes you got to take what you can get. So, if it wasn't for her and many of her lessons, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right in front of you today as I am today. Because here's the thing. And if your spirit is Anaisa, that's great. If your spirit is not Anaisa, okay, I know that it's going to be hard. Don't be jealous. But whoever your spirit is a strong spirit too. And it's about having that deep connection with the spirit that's going to bring you an overwhelming confidence that will allow you slowly to be free. On that, cheers to Anaisa. And basically, like I said, today is Anaisa's day. So, I mean, the least you guys can do is give her a drink and get a drink out for yourself. Right? Anaisa likes her children to enjoy. That's the thing. But Here's the other thing with Anaisa is that if you're really able to elevate that current and you're really able to elevate and come to the most elevated point of that loi, right? What you're going to find is enjoyment in everything, even the worst things, even the ugly. You'll somehow manage to enjoy it. You will manage to enjoy it. You will enjoy just having the experience of it, of being given the gift to be able to experience that ugliness. And right now, I know it sounds like a stretch, right? But it's through your suffering that we can get to the other side, to Anaisa. It's through taking you through the eye of the needle. Is it going to be easy? No. If it was easy, everyone would do it, and even you wouldn't want it. Stop trying to be like everyone else. That's one of the big teachings of Anaisa, is have a little self-respect. Right? You can only be you. Everybody else can only be themselves. If God wanted copies, he would have made them. He would have made them. You would have had to invent a Xerox machine. Right? So, let's talk about what she likes. What she doesn't like is people who are too buttoned up. Don't be so serious. Life is not that serious. You think it's serious, but most of what you think is serious is not serious at all. And most of what you don't take seriously enough usually is. So that's one. Number two is she likes things that smell good. Perfume, perfume, perfume. Right? She's the queen of perfume. She loves the scent world. Right? And if you don't have good perfume for yourself, you need to get yourself some. Splurge on yourself. Right? A lot of people, especially spiritualists, amiga, especially spiritualists, will have no problem splurging and giving to others, but seem to have a problem to give back to themselves. Lynette! Hey, girl. Have a problem giving back to themselves, right? And it's important that you give to yourself and you give to the spirit. When you give to the spirit, give them good quality stuff. Spirit knows, right? Absolutely. Gucci. Real witches wear Gucci. So, yeah. Give them good quality stuff. Okay. Right? Te escribo. Yeah. Hey, David. Give her good quality stuff. Don't give her crap, okay? The spirit is not a peasant, and neither are you. So don't do the same to yourself. Don't, one of the things that Anaisa doesn't like is when people walk around acting like peasants. And it's because you don't know the riches that have been given to you. Okay? So if you can afford, you give. You give what you can afford. Of course, the spirit understands. The spirit understands. However, at the same time, they also understand when you could be giving yourself better and you're giving yourself worse. Right? These are all things they understand. They don't just understand, certain things, what you decide they can. So, Anaisa's color is yellow and gold, right? Why? That color brings life. When you're feeling too overwhelmed in yourself, too much down, wear yellow. Wear yellow, wear gold, wear bright colors, but especially yellow. Scientists have done, scientists and corporations have spent millions of dollars to learn things that we teach you in the spiritual work and true spiritual work all the time. One of those things is how the colors you surround yourself with affect you and your mind, and how that affects your mood and then affects your body's physiology. So there are always reasons why we do what we're doing, but many times those reasons have deeper layers than what most people know. So, Anaisa is the spirit of joy, but as the spirit of joy, she's also a spirit that knows suffering. Yes, orange is another of her colors. You can definitely give her orange. In her path of Anakaona, she's known to be connected with orange. Okay? Orange and yellow and gold, they're such bright, beautiful colors, but people don't wear them enough. So that's one. Another thing is that she loves gold jewelry. Gold jewelry, look. My daughter gave me this for my birthday. It's a gold watch. She knows me. Gold Invicta. You know, my goddaughter gave me these gold earrings. I'm all in gold today for Anaisa. Okay? All gold for Anaisa. So, her color is that, right? What everyone knows, or maybe you don't know, Anaisa drinks beer. But aside from beer, she also takes champagne. She takes champagne, she takes amaretto. She takes cider. Right? The good stuff. If you're going to give her a cider, give her a good one. Right? She accepts all of that. We have so many bottles of Moet here that people brought for Anaisa. She loves great champagne. She's the spirit of dancing. Oh, and another thing about the whole Anaisa being, fast and things of this nature, here's something that a lot of people don't know about Anaisa, is that she's also the spirit of family and home. How about that? She's the spirit of family and home. Right? She's the spirit of family and home and family. And a lot of people also don't know this. She's a spirit that helps women who are facing women's issues. Issues with estrogen, menopause, which me and Mambo Sandy did, and Mambo Titi did a huge menopause workshop for. She deals with women's issues and estrogen and everything that goes along with the hormone process with that. And she's an amazing healer. Just to say a story here. Hola, hola, hola. Right? Just to say a little story here. We had someone who came in who was suffering. They had the pains. And they went to the doctors. They had scans, they had x-rays, they had this, they had that. They had it all done. And these people couldn't figure it out. Right? They came to a ceremony. Anaisa said, oh, this is what you have. Right? Here, take these herbs for this many days. You take this many herbs, you take it this many days, and boom, you're going to be clean and clear. Tu vas estar bien. And just as she said, so it was, and she was fine. Basically, 2 weeks of an herbal mixture resolved something she had spent thousands of dollars. Awoshenago, Chevy. Aida, ¿cómo está mi niña? Bella, ¿cómo está? In 2 weeks, That tea resolved what the doctors couldn't figure out. The next time the woman had the issue, she went again to the doctor. The doctor said, I don't know what it is. The woman says, give me a test for this, because Anaisa told her what it was. The doctor gives her the test for that and says, oh yeah, that's what it is. So she confirmed. The doctor gave her the medicine. The woman again went on the herbs and gone. Resolved again. And that was the last time that she dealt with it. That's the thing about the loi, the misterios. There's so much wisdom and knowledge with the misterio. They know so much. But it's just now that the science is catching up with the misterio. And to me, it's funny because everyone thinks that the people that serve misterio, that we're backwards. Oh, hermana, right? Everybody who serves the misterio, that we're backwards. But in reality, a lot of times, the people that serve the misterio already know things that the science is just starting to figure out. The science is just starting. Okay? As I said earlier, Anaisa is a spirit that she's the queen of dance. She's a dancing queen. She loves to dance. Right? And a lot of people don't understand that when your energy is low, when you're down in the suffering, when you're not feeling good, right? You need to get up and dance. Get up and dance and force yourself. Here's the thing in life, okay? You can't sit in it. You can sit in the shit and drown, or you can swim. Are you going to be swimming through shit? Of course. But at least you're moving out of it, rather than sitting in it. Sometimes, of course, it's going to feel easier to drown and sit. Why? Because drowning requires a letting go. It's easy, no effort. Swimming is going to cause you some effort. But if you're here, you're listening to this, you probably are somebody who serve or has misterios. And we weren't born warriors for nothing. We're born because we know that life, it has its ups and downs, it's going to have its battles. But you can't allow yourself to succumb. If so, we wouldn't have these practices now, because the ancestors would have let it go. They would have succumbed. They would have let it go. They would have lost the battle and the war to keep the misterios. But they didn't. Right? They knew the power and the value that the misterios have. Right? So, if you read my book, The 21 Divisions, Mysteries and Magic of Dominican Voodoo, I put a big section on Anaisa and lots of things about how Anaisa is able to do her work, that I've seen her do her work. Right? Anaisa is a misterio that, I always said it, in 24, 48 hours, I've seen changes. Changes in people's situations that hasn't happened for years, that Anaisa has manifested and done. One time, I'm going to give you an example. One time, someone was in jail, and their first phone call was to Papa. And they said, Papa, I need help. I'm in jail. I got to get out of jail. I can't get out of jail. Right? What I did, I went to the altar. I talked to Anaisa. I put on my candle. I talked to Anaisa. I told her, mira, taita, esto y lo otro. This, and that. Okay? Told her what I needed. In a few hours, that person was being dropped off at my house, saying, Papa, what do I need to give you? What do I need to do? Because I was meant to do a long stint in jail. Okay? And that's the way that it works. The thing of the misterio is that it's a misterio. It's not always going to make sense to your logical mind. Right? Which is why, to me, oftentimes I don't understand why People with misterios have problems with each other over nonsenses. The misterio is enough for everyone, right? Anaisa is such a misterio that she is a joy, she is a pleasure, but she's very much a truth teller. Okay? Always say, Anaisa no tiene pelo en la lengua. Anaisa doesn't hold back, no hair on the tongue. She's going to call it as it is. She's going to call it forward. She's going to call it out. Right? But for you to reach joy, for you to reach happiness, you have to face truth. And sometimes truth hurts. Right? Hey, Star. Sometimes truth hurts. So, for you to reach that next level, for you to reach that next joy, sometimes you're going to have to hear some hard truths. You ain't going to like it. But Anaisa is that best friend who's going to tell you what you don't like. She's not the friend that's going to comfort you. Trust that. Trust that she's not going to sit there comforting you and boo-hooing with you. She might give you a minute to cry it all out. But after 2 or 3 minutes, you better get yourself together. She's going to be looking at you like, why don't you get up out of there? Hi, T, how are you? Hi, Amor Diamond. Right? She's going to be like, why aren't you getting yourself together? Pick yourself the hell up. What? Areli, bendiciones. Right? Pick yourself the hell up. What, you're going to sit in there forever? Okay? Anaisa will tell people, I've heard her say before, right? I'm the damn devil. Soy una diabla. Right? Why? Because Anaisa's not just going to let you sit in the shit. Anaisa's not going to let you just sit there and brew and stew. She's going to help pull you up out of it. But to pull you up out of it, she's going to make you go through it. She's going to push you through. And she's going to expect a lot, but she's going to give you a lot. And she's going to give you in full support. So as we discussed, the woman loves jewelry, gold jewelry. She loves her beer, her champagne, her cider. Sunflowers is her flower. So if you want to give her some flowers, you can give her yellow roses, all forms of yellow flowers, but sunflowers especially. Those are especially hers, right? What else do we got here? Someone sent her sunflowers already. They were ready. Miss Marie, thank you. That sent her sunflowers already, right? She loves her jewelry. She loves her perfumes, all form of scents. We used to have something, it's hard a little bit to get in botanicas now. You might be able to get it on Amazon. I don't know. I have some still. It's called Caron de Champagne. Right? And I've seen it also called Ben de Champagne. But Caron de Champagne. And it's a perfume that belongs to her. Very awesome scent. And these are just some of the many things that she loves. She loves that which brings people pleasure. Right? But you have to make sure, one of the teachings of Anaisa is that you can't really experience pleasure until you've gone through what needs to be gone through. Otherwise, you're only going to receive fleeting pleasures, short-lived pleasures, temporary pleasures. But in order to really absorb true happiness, true joy, you're going to have to get the shit out of the system. And it's not going to be easy. And people are going to lie on you. You don't know. If I had $1 for every time people claim to have known me and said, oh yeah, and I did X, Y, Z, who I don't know from a can of paint and would never associate with at all, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you, right? Okay. Don't let people drag you. How can you stop them from dragging you? Is stop paying attention. Okay? Stop paying attention. Many times people give too much credit to peasants and trash. Normally, when you see trash, you just throw it out. But some of you, all right, and some of you, absolutely, absolutely, Leah. Some of you, confuse trash and treasure, and then you're in suffering because you don't know how to get rid of the garbage. And everything is not a pearl. Everything is not a diamond. There's more rocks than there is diamonds, right? And so you have to learn discernment, how to discern the rocks from the diamonds. But to do that, you can't be following the masses and following the mob. And that's the thing with Anaisa, is that she's different. She doesn't follow the masses. She doesn't follow the mob. She doesn't work that way. So this is the problem that the masses have with her, is that she can't be predicted or controlled. And she thinks for herself. She's for herself, thinking for herself, guiding for herself. A lot of people, they're like, I don't like so-and-so because so-and-so doesn't like so-and-so. A mí no me gusta fulano porque Juan Bobo no le gusta fulano. I make my decisions based on myself. Right? Oh, that's a good one. Based on myself and my own experiences with an individual. Right? A lot of people are looking for the masses to support your decisions. You don't want to do anything unless there's 100 other people co-signing you. Right? This is the thing that Anaisa's not with. Since when did you need a co-signer? You didn't need a co-signer to get born. You don't need a co-signer to die. You didn't need a co-signer to die. But you get here in the world of the living, and now you need a co-signer for everyone. Even people you don't know. People you've never met, people you don't know from Adam. You look for them to agree and to co-sign for you. Okay, yes, that's okay. That's confirmed. Okay, you're allowed. You don't need that. But that's going to be something that if you work properly on your growth spiritually, you'll be able to get through. A lot of people want to try to force things. But in reality, those things are the side effect benefits of proper growth. When you grow properly, a side effect is boundaries. You can't make boundaries. When you grow properly, a side effect is no one's opinions matter. You can't convince yourself that no one's opinion matters. Otherwise, you'll be upset. You might not show it, but you'll still be upset underneath. And hey, if half of you is upset, it's half too much. Agree or disagree. Right? Shit, I want all of me to be happy. I don't want just a piece. I don't want just a piece of happiness. I want it all. And that's the thing. Anaisa can teach you how to have it. But are there people that's going to be against you? Of course. The game is not fun if you don't have any challenges. Are you going to need strength? Of course. But if you have Anaisa, she's going to give you it. You follow her, she's going to give it to you. I know a lot of you who are in here with me right now, right, who are like, have had that experience with Anaisa giving you strength or putting you in check and being like, what the hell are you thinking? Let's get it together. Right? See, because Anaisa is willing to do something that very few people are willing to do. I'm willing to do that same thing that she's willing to do, that very few people are willing to do. That is sacrifice myself. That means if you don't like me, oh well. If you don't like it, oh well. Chew on bricks. Chew on bricks. Find someone who cares. Right? But I'm going to give you the truth. And I'm going to give you the facts. The facts and the truth about the situation. And whatever that might cost, it's going to cost. C'est la vie. Hey, like I told you, she said to me early on. Okay? Nobody dies with you in this bitch, and no one's born with you in this bitch. No one. Even twins don't go together. Okay? And if they do, who cares? They might not be going to the same damn place. Right? So you can't concern yourself with that. And it's a process because you've been taught your whole life to be concerned with that. What people say, what people think, yada yada, wada wada, blah blah blah. Right? And everyone pushes you that way. And they think that it's a good thing. And it's good because it's going to give you safety. Right? But Anaisa tells you, if you've never almost ever died, then what was the point of living? You have to have at least almost tasted death. If you always play it safe, right, you'll never be the millionaire. If you always play it safe, you'll never be the millionaire. You have to take a risk. And that's the same thing with love and your heart. Love is a risk. And many people come to me asking why they can't get it. And it's because so few people are willing, they're too scared to take the risk. So very few people are willing or have the personal strength to take that risk. And it's not their fault. Life happens, right? But love is a risk. And in order for it to happen, you need two people willing to take the risk and be open. It's a risky game. But in reality, it's more risky in your mind than what it really is. Because as Anaisa will tell you, you didn't come in or you don't exit with nobody. Okay? You were before them, and after them you'll still exist. So what's the fear? Take the risk. Jump. Right? You can't know the flavor if you don't jump. Okay? Now, Anaisa, she doesn't preach anything that you think. Meaning any of your false things that lead you to believe you're more spiritual. You know, I had a piece of my family that thought that people that danced weren't very spiritual. That dancing wasn't very spiritual. Complete nonsense. Basically, anywhere that you would have fun or enjoyment in life, a lot of things say that's not religious or spiritual. It's not very holy. It's complete nonsense. Right? God gave you a little bit of everything. He gave you a song, a voice to make a song, a foot to make a dance, a hands to clap. And Aisa's not going to preach to you, doing this or that will make you more spiritual. It's the essence of how you are being that makes you more spiritual or less spiritual. Not what you're doing. Let me tell you, and I say this often to Mambo Sandy, okay? I I've seen lots more spiritual people that were also being killers, dealers, and drug dealers, criminals, right? And what made them more spiritual was maybe they weren't being 100% themselves, but even with their messed upness, they were being at least honest. And meanwhile, in the quote unquote spiritual community, I watch people tear each other down all the time. I watch people go and attack each other, other spiritualists. Ooh, so spiritual. Right? I see people create division. We're better than you. You're better than us. You don't know this. You don't know that. You do that. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Plenty of racism. Trust. Don't worry. If you didn't get it in America yet, join the community. Right? Ah, yeah, that's funny. How we can lift each other up more, which is a beautiful question, is how we can lift each other up more is that we could stop being in competition and people could actually realize who they are and be like, hey, maybe I need some more development. Maybe I need to work and develop before I start, claiming I can help others and this and that. And so that way I can actually grow. And so then that way I can make this a community that's better. How we can lift each other up is we can be like, you know what? There's enough other people that discriminate against us, so we don't need to do it amongst each other. Okay? So there's that. Now, I want to address a good note here. I hear people saying that being celibate is being more spiritual, makes you more spiritual. Any believed that at one time. That's false. Because you can be celibate in your body and not in your mind. In fact, you can drive yourself crazy. Okay? You can be celibate in your body, and as a result of being a celibate in your body, you become obsessed with sex. You're thinking of sex all the time. All day your mind is in sex. You're in sex, and you're an angry person. You're a violent person because you haven't eaten. You're hungry. Okay? And if you have a hungry dog, it's going to bite somebody. So you don't have sex, you don't eat, and then you start biting people, and then everyone says, oh, why is she biting people? Okay? And then you call that more spiritual. Right? You get hungry, you don't eat, you haven't had sex, it's the same as food. Okay? You get angry, now you're angry at everybody. You're fighting, and now you're being nasty to everyone because you didn't eat. Who told you not eating is spiritual? Huh? You got to take care of the temple. And the temple is your body. Okay? You want to live poor? Okay? Because in the old culture, when people eat a lot, that meant they were rich. So being celibate is not more spiritual, right? Does that mean you should be sleeping with everybody and their mama? No. But it doesn't mean that you need to go be celibate. Find yourself what you do best and do that. That way you can stop being so angry, and that way you're not biting people. I always tell people like that. Didn't your mama ever teach you not to bite people? When you're a little baby's always biting everybody, right? It happens the same way when people be celibate to be more spiritual. Okay? They go bite everybody, they be angry. Okay? And then I'm like, why are these people acting like babies? I'll tell you why. Because they're over there forcing celibacy. A very ugly thing. Never force anything. Okay? Don't ever force yourself to do anything. If you gotta force yourself, it's not real. If you have to do something by force, it can't be real. So if you force yourself, y masturbarse es malo para las personas espirituales. No, eso no es verdad. So I'm going to say in English what somebody said is, somebody said that they've been told that masturbating is bad for spiritual people. And that's wrong, false. False, false, false. Now, are there ceremonies you don't do that? Yes, of course. Are there times you stay clean of that? Yes, everything, todo tiene su tiempo, right? Everything has its time. Everything has its place, right? But that's false. People think that taking everything that provides you pleasure away from you is going to make you more spiritual. It doesn't. It makes you more controlled. It makes you more of a hurt individual. If you're hungry, you eat. And if you're hungry for sex, go have sex. It's very simple, right? Forcing yourself into celibacy is only going to make you be angry at people and make you bite people. You're less spiritual, actually. Less. And it's because of those ideas that oftentimes have led to a lot of perversion. Because the Catholic priest cannot have sex, he does perversions. That's why. If he was allowed to have sex, he doesn't have perversions. It's no different. Like in my family, when you're very little, okay, we give you a little bit to drink. Because that's an old-time tradition. Just a touch. By the time you're old, you're not an alcoholic. Because we didn't force you away from it. We didn't hold you back from it. Without sex, you wouldn't be here. It's very funny to me that people say that sex is not spiritual. Hey, Red. Hey, darling. That people say that, sex is not spiritual. Without sex, you wouldn't be here. Okay? Without sex, you wouldn't be here. You're here because of sex. Sex is very spiritual. In fact, I think it's probably more spiritual for many people than going to church. Should a person be healed to have sex? That's a good question. So, ideally, but we don't live in an ideal world, right? Which means you gotta eat in life. Is not being healed going to provide itself some things? Yes, of course. But also keeping yourself away from something is also going to cause its issues. So you got to take the lesser of the two devils. All right? And so what you do need to do is, like I said, that doesn't mean hop from person to person, be sleeping with everybody. But being celibate doesn't make you more spiritual. It makes you more frustrated. It makes you more angry, passive aggressive, maybe. Makes you bite people more often, probably. Makes you look like a damn fool. That all applies. More spiritual? Not at all. And a lot of people use the celibacy, I'm being celibate about sex thing as an excuse because they're too hurt to open up and to be able to have intimacy. So, in order to protect themselves, since they can't open up to people, they say, I'm being celibate for spiritual purposes. I'm being celibate for spiritual purposes. And they use it as a form of protection, as a form to make sure that they don't have to actually grow, be able to deal with people. And is everyone going to agree with what I'm saying? Didn't you hear the rest of this conversation? No, I don't give a damn. I'm Anaisa's kid. Okay? No, not everyone can even agree with truth. In fact, most people can't. Truth is too hurtful. And in honor of Anaisa, I'm going to smoke my cigarette during this live. So, yeah, it is. That's exactly what it's called, Red. A lot of people end up very sexually frustrated, very angry. And so because they're angry, because they're not eating, they're not having sex, which is food. Okay, they go around biting people. They go around being very mean, very angry. They go around acting like they're the police, right? They become very just nasty individuals, right? And it's funny because that we talk about this because, everyone always claims Anaisa, all these claims about Anaisa and Anaisa's promiscuity. However, we have often seen Anaisa tell people, you know what you need? You know what your problem is? You need to go fuck. You need to go have sex. You need to go eat. Yeah, you're delusional when you live in denial. You're delusional. Why live in denial? Okay? Why live in denial? Stop being a fake Freddy. Be a real Ricky. Right? Be a real Ricky. A lot of times people use these, I gotta work on my spiritual development, and so I think we need to break it off. Bullshit. Right? Yeah, when people totally live in lies and refute the truth. Right? There's actually a lot of things that sex brings to a person. It's immense, actually. I don't think I could cover it in short little life. But one thing I gotta tell you, okay, is that it actually balances people's hormones. All right? It actually balances people's hormones. There's a chemical reaction that happens in the body as a result, which creates health and longevity. There's a chemical reaction that happens in the body when someone is celibate for too long. It makes them a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Okay? It can actually make it hard on your brain. Your brain can have issues because of lack of sex. Because your brain is controlled by hormones. And I've seen a lot of people use celibacy or telling people to be celibate to control other people. It's very ugly. When people's concern is controlling other people, it's very ugly. It's not cute. All of you transfer bad spiritual energy. I could say the same thing about talking to people. Again, there's always a million reasons not to do something when you don't want to do. Okay? But here's the thing. Okay? You be careful. Exactly. You be careful. You take your time. You understand. You work on yourself. While you're working on yourself, it doesn't mean you're supposed to sit there and starve. Time. Take your time. Find the right people. Deal with the right people. Understand how much or how little you can entangle yourself with each individual. Not everyone is meant to be your baby dad or your baby moms. Okay? Not everyone is meant to be a lifey. Sometimes they're just meant to be a right now. Because you're hungry. And when you're hungry, you gotta eat. Okay? But you have to understand the difference. Okay? You have to understand the difference between you're hungry and this is the type of food that you could eat for the rest of your life. Because every time you deal with someone, it gotta be a food that you can digest. Every food ain't digestible for everybody. Some food give you a stomach ache. Everybody can't eat the same food. Some people are allergic to certain foods. Right? Certain people get sick, certain foods. Certain people have IBS. They can't just eat anything. It's the same thing when you have sex. It's the same thing when you have relationships with people. Not every food you want to eat every day, all the time. You got to find a food that's good for you. Right? You got to understand that sometimes maybe you're going to eat and it's a treat for you. Right? But that if you ate that every day, you would end up fat and lazy. And you wouldn't be able to do anything and out of health. Yeah, that's true too. Being upfront. Okay? But you ain't meant to eat McDonald's all the time. Understand when you're eating junk food. Sometimes you need to get it out of your system. Of course, darling. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta be like, okay, this is McDonald's. I can eat that today, but that's not good for me all the time. Okay? That's going to make me out of health. I'm going to have problems. I have all kinds of problems if you eat McDonald's every day. Y'all saw Supersize Me, right? And then sometimes you're like, oh no, this is healthy food. This is good food. I can eat this and I'll be fine. All right? The spiritual world is a lot more logical than most people think. It makes a lot more sense. And it makes a lot more sense than a lot of people that think they're logical. Right? And the rule of the spiritual world is very logical. And around sex, also very logical. It makes total sense. But what the humans tell you to do, what people tell you to do, it don't make much sense. Right? Yeah, no. When you work with Misterios, you can't just eat anything. You have to know what food is for you and what food is not for you. You have to know who you are. You know, some people, they gluten intolerant. They can't do gluten. Some people can't do lactose. Right? Some people can't do lactose. Some people don't know how to appreciate good food. And some people, because they're so conditioned and used to junk. So when they eat filet mignon, they don't understand. Some people only want the food that other people have. When they see somebody else eating, they say, oh, that looks good. I bet that tastes good. But when no one else is eating it, they're not interested in that food. Okay? You have to learn this about food. You have to understand about people. They're the same thing, right? They're the same thing. Hi, Melissa. Right? Some people, when someone else is eating, then they get hungry. They want to eat. But when no one else was eating, they wasn't hungry. Right? When some people, right, they see other people eating shrimp, now they want shrimp. But when other people didn't want shrimp, they wasn't concerned with shrimp. They wanted chicken. They want chicken too. They can't even think. Right? So you have to find the food that's good for you. What you can digest. Because remember, some things are hard to digest. Some people, they have too much fiber in them. And they're hard to digest. You know? You have to take all of these things about these people into account. You can't eat nothing. Ay, no, te muere. Te muere, manita. No. We gotta get you right so you can get on a proper food. We gotta get you right. Help you. All right, you guys. So I want to give you guys something before I let you guys go. Straight oatmeal, too much fiber. Ay, Dios mío. Something for Anaisa. Because I want you guys to get a little bit more out of your cages, a little bit more free, a little bit more open. Okay? And so what I want you to do is I want you to take trumpet flower. The flower is called flor de trompeta, trumpet flower. Right? And take that trumpet flower and you're going to boil it with basil, mint, hops, and lemongrass. You're going to let that cool off. When it cools off, you're going to add 3 perfumes. Spiritual perfumes, preferably. Florida water. If you can get Caron de Champagne, that would be awesome. If not, Florida water, Pompeia, Reverdois, any of those. Buenas noches, Carlo. Right? And you're going to mix that together. Make sure it's cooled off. Take it off the stove. Add that in there. And then add 3 beers. And the petals of the flowers. You can buy the trumpet flowers, basil, mint, hops, and lemongrass. These days, everything you can get on Amazon. Amazon is the friend of America, right? But in reality, you could also go to like an herbal supply store or natural food store. They sell them all over. Yeah, a lot of that does grow wild out west, right? So you're going to add the flower petals of a sunflower. You're going to take that bath for 7 days. A cupful of bath every day for 7 days. And you're going to read Psalm number 5 with a yellow candle talking to Anaisa. All right. So that's what I want to give you today on Anaisa's feast day. I know you probably can't see her real much back there because she has offerings and stuff in front of her. But on her lovely feast day, La Dura de la Dura, La más bella de las bellas, Anaisa. So, good night, buenas noches, Dios me lo bendiga. All right? God bless all of you. And Saturday, just so you know, Saturday we have Anaisa's party here, Anaisa's feast. You're most welcome. We'll be here at 3 p.m. It will also be held virtually. Check the Facebook event page for the deets. It'll be held virtually as well as in person at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in West Berlin, New Jersey. Many blessings to all of you, right? Love all of you guys. Love you. See you guys on Saturday and stay blessed.